5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah! Welcome back, everybody. It's been a spell since we've done a show. And we have a lot to talk about.
We do?
Mainly because we haven't done a podcast in a few weeks now.
It's been a while. Yeah.
I think we did one about 3 weeks ago, and then and then before that, it was like a whole month before that. So anyway.
Yeah, Mike's mom did a short prison sentence, and we weren't allowed to come over until she was back.
That's right. She is. She's a freaking hardened criminal. So we were talking about Maui.
Yeah.
Your homeland.
The whole town of Lahaina burned down.
Yeah. So, and I called bullshit from the get-go. Something's fishy about this freaking fire. And granted, whether you want to say it's directed energy weapons or anything like that, that's all debatable, of course. But it looked like a fire I've never seen burn like that before.
Well,
there's a lot of freaking unanswered questions. Is what I'm saying.
That's not true. I mean, everyone's talking about the glass in the cars burnt out and all, but you remember the Marshall Fire a year ago? Took out that whole community, and they were having 100-mile-per-hour gusts up there. And it just spread so quick and was so intense. I mean, it spread all the way out into the water, and a boat freaking caught on fire too. Yeah.
So you're saying
they were anchored in that harbor.
It only took one laser beam, and then it spread from there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So this is my problem with the media too, and what we were just discussing is when they say conspiracy theorists think it's laser beams from space. Yeah, that sounds conspiratorial. It sounds like a conspiracy theory, but there is such thing called directed energy weapon.
Yeah, it's a wife.
Which you can look it up. You can look it up. Just Google it, and you'll friggin' it's even in Wikipedia. As much as they try to bend that stuff to bullshit us,
it'll be a picture of Al's wife.
It's a real deal. Is it possible? Yeah. Am I saying that's what happened? Not necessarily, but I think it's funny when you look at Jeff Bezos' house didn't burn down, Oprah Winfrey's house didn't burn down. None of these rich elites' houses
they
burn
live
down.
In a different area. They don't live there.
Oh, how convenient.
Yeah. But okay, so there's just some things that when people are talking about the aftermath, how it looked the same as the Marshall Fire we had a year ago up in that.
Oh, it had a mountain in the background.
The town in, actually, yeah.
Okay, so be it. But they both look strange. Then they both look.
Well,
strange.
but we know how that started. Was that church community, that controversial religion church community there, where they're burning trash. And that's where it started from.
Are we positive with that? Or is that what they're blaming it on?
Well, people on that highway saw the fire on their property, and that's when they called the authorities.
So
and it spread so fast because there were people that they went to like a Home Depot or something. They saw the smoke. It was far away. They thought they were safe. They went in there 2 minutes later over the PA. The employees are telling everyone to evacuate. And when they stepped back out, I mean, the freaking fire was upon them.
But see, here's the thing, though. Banks weren't calling those people up asking if they want to sell their property the day
I know,
before shit was done burning.
Okay, but I'm just talking about how the aftermath looked. People are saying, how come this one tree didn't burn and this tree burned right next to it? But if you look at pictures of that Marshall Fire, you'll see the same thing. So as far as how the aftermath looked, the car windows were all burnt out and all that. You look at the Marshall Fire, it was just like that.
Okay, so we'll shelf the way things look.
No, I just want to say, drink some more Kool-Aid, Al.
What about utility vehicles and authority vehicles blocking the people in the town?
Okay, so in the press report, the chief of police said there was no policemen, no vehicles or policemen blocking the roads, but there's eyewitness encounters saying that there's one guy they call Fish. He's a homeless guy. Lives in a tent. He's known around Lahaina. So he has no car. So he walked out of there, and on Front Street, he passed the whole traffic jam of cars, and he's telling the people, like, you guys need to, like, get out of there, leave. And they're just waiting for the road to open. And he's telling them, get out the car and leave. And he gets to the end of Front Street where it kind of curves. There's one policeman there blocking the road. And this guy Fish is telling the policeman, like, the fire's coming. You got to let these guys go. And the policeman said, I have orders to block the road.
Yeah, there's another guy I saw. They diverted him off the highway.
Yeah.
And they went down to whatever, it was kind of a river frontish street, I think, the way you described it.
Front street,
But then that was blocked once they all got into town or whatever, and that was blocked.
So I would say that's fucking sus right there.
Then what about people having to get in the water? They have no other place to go but go in the water.
Yeah, they jumped out of their car and had to go in the water. Like, I mean, you're talking like something like 4 p.m. or ish is like when the town started burning, and by the time they jumped in the water, it was like 9 p.m. I mean, they couldn't get out of there till like 1 a.m. or something. They're just waiting in the water.
Well, what about them withholding the delivery of water?
Yeah. There's
just a lot of. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I am a
fact theorist.
The shit's not adding up theorist. Okay.
Yeah. So there's people said there's some people like higher up in the mountains, higher up the hill. They stayed there, and their plan was to fight the fire. They see spots, would pop up all over, and they would get their garden hose and put it out, and all of a sudden there's no water, and no one can explain that. No one can explain
evaporation.
Yeah, even
fire was very hot.
Even the firefighters, they said that the hydrants just went dry, and no one can explain that.
Yeah,
and so that's another thing that's
all backed by them trying to offer these folks money for their property for probably decades now.
Yeah, I mean that's all family land. A lot of them. So okay, so here's another thing. Like 2 weeks prior to the fire, the governor signed a bill or a law. Law or bill, I don't know, like if it's law. Yeah, I think it is law. Signed a law so there's this law. If it's a historical place, like historical town, like Lahaina, like okay, so like old Colorado City. If you're to build there, the whole decor has to match the town.
Woodland Park does that.
Yeah, Woodland Park's like that too. And all historical towns in Hawaii are like that. And Lahaina's one of them. But 2 weeks prior to the fire, the governor just signed a law saying that if there's a natural disaster, the rebuild does not have to follow that. They can just build however they want. And then prior to that, like a year ago or so, Maui was, Lahaina exactly, was selected as one of the first smart cities.
Right.
So that happened, and
Which
then the governor
been a plan since about 2011.
Yeah, and then the governor signs this law saying if a natural disaster destroys a town, they don't have to rebuild to keep it like historic looking and all that. Right. And okay, so this is like made up shit. This is my made up shit. I'm putting this out there. I'm making this shit up. A lot of the lands they've been in families for generations. So the bank doesn't own it; they own it. Okay, so how do you get the land if they own it? If you have a mortgage and your house burns down, whatever, you can't pay. There's always bankruptcy, or the bank owns it. Okay, but how do you get a house that's owned by the family already? It's generations. Well, maybe the family doesn't exist anymore, and there's no will saying who gets the house if the family's gone. No one has a will says this goes to my sister, this goes to my cousin.
Right.
The state gets it, right?
Yeah.
So block the road. Hopefully, families die. I'm making this shit up.
No, dude, I think
I'm making this shit up.
I think I understand what you're saying. Do you have no facts to back up what you're saying? But it's very plausible.
Yeah,
what you're saying.
Yep. I wasn't a conspiracy theorist until the last, 8 to 10 years. I really started seeing more and more, and it
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't sit right with me that I feel that way about a lot of things, but it's like.
Listen, and then
it's almost like there's too many facts on the side of things.
Yeah. How much money are they giving to people to rebuild?
$700
per household.
What the fuck is that?
Well,
you do the math with Ukraine.
Well, they're giving.
It's over $3,600 per
exchange rates. I mean,
$3,700 per person.
What does Hawaii use for money?
Yeah, what does
Hawaii use for money?
Seashells. No, yeah, they just signed Congress just. Well, I don't know if they voted on it, but they're trying to get Ukraine another 24 billion.
Okay,
I thought it was 40 billion.
Hold on. So when you do that math, then by that math, another how much did you say?
24.
Another
billion.
24 puts it at 30, 40, 50. So
yeah, it's over 100.
$160 billion,
Yeah.
which is probably going to equal
And those
to
guys
about.
they said they've already bought houses in like France and stuff like that.
Well, and here's the thing. So there's only about, I think, 35 or 37 million people there. There's not a shit ton of people. When you do the math on that, it ends up being, with where we're standing now at 135
Maybe
billion.
we're going to give those to Ukrainians that land.
That's almost $3,700 per person, not per household.
Yeah, and supposedly
which is fucking ridiculous.
So they had to vote on it. They put aside 12 million for Hawaii, for Maui, right?
Ooh.
12 million. They had to vote. Congress had to vote.
12 million.
12 million.
Oh, so fucking
but they
generous.
Slipped the 24 or 12 billion. 12 billion. They swept the 24 billion for Ukraine in that. So basically, you know, if you vote against it, it's going to be like, wait, you don't care about Maui?
Lions, yeah. What the fuck?
So I don't know if that's true. I don't know if what I said is true.
Okay.
Maui's going to be the new Ukraine because we're just going to let them buy it with their 24 billion.
I think it is possible that they were directed energy weapons, or the fire was intentional, or that at least the withholding of water was intentional, or the blocking of people was intentional. For the reason that we just talked about, make it a smart city, because I think they're looking at being like 40% renewable by 2030, which isn't very far away.
Yeah,
so
it's hard to get. I mean, the family's not going to give up the land.
They're not. They need, but here's the thing, and I think it's very possible directed energy weapons were used to create this as well. Why wouldn't they do that here in the States? Because they'd have fucking riots all over the place. On an island, they're just fucking people, and we'll kill them if we have to.
Yeah, and supposedly the firefighters that are fighting the wildfire coming down towards the town, it was contained. They, according to them, like. It was contained.
So sickening. And
then, like, whatever, 30 minutes or so after, another spot popped up behind them. Like, behind them and the town. It was between the fire, another brush fire popped up between them and the town. And when they were fighting that fire, that's when the water thing happened and water showed up. And you heard about the sirens, right? People are saying, how come the sirens never... sounded, you know, and the guy ahead of that in the press conference, he said, "Oh, because those are used for tsunamis," and I'm watching them, I'm like, "Oh, fucking shit!" It's used for emergencies. It's used for everything. It's used for incoming missiles.
Because that's what I've heard that too, where they're like, "Oh, it's for tsunamis," and I'm like, "Oh, it's to indicate to the people they need to run to higher ground." Well, they couldn't run to higher ground, and so all right, you're confirming that's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
All right. No, and I believe you.
And what is your background that would let you know what's going on?
Yeah.
Just for the audience.
What makes you expert on all things Hawaiian?
Because I make sirens.
I mean, when you talk, it is annoying like a siren. But what is your real background?
No, I mean, I grew up there. I grew up in Hawaii.
Oh, you grew up in Hawaii? We should do an episode about that.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing. I'm willing to listen to stuff, but you can't sit there and pick and choose. Like, people are like, why didn't Obama's house burn down? I'm like, well, because it wasn't on that island. So
yeah, it's
because I believe Obama's house is on Oahu.
Yeah.
So all right,
he might have property on Maui, but from what I know, they live like Kapalua, like more northwest.
But I'm just saying, dude, there's just a lot of unanswered questions.
that siren thing was bullshit. When I heard that, I'm like, bullshit. I call bullshit. And on top of that, like for tsunami, it's usually an earthquake somewhere in the Pacific Rim, Japan, Alaska, Chile.
Right. Yep.
So that the earthquake's going to happen. Hawaii's going to get the news. The people of Hawaii says, yeah, there's an earthquake. You know, there might be a tsunami here like in 10 hours or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be like that. So, well, you know, if you hear the sirens 10 hours later or something.
You'll know why.
Yeah, it's not going to be like sirens come up and everyone's like, oh my God, tsunami. And plus, the fucking fire is coming down this hill. You're not going to be like, sirens, tsunami, run toward the fire.
Tsunami would have put it out.
Yeah. And
I don't know,
even
man.
on their website, it says used for wildfires included in that.
So-
And that guy that said that at the press conference, he resigned the next day.
Well, what about this? Was it the
Because he
mayor
got a payment.
or
He got a payment. And he was done.
Resigned for health issues.
The mayor or the sheriff or somebody was tied to the, I don't know, some authority of Vegas.
The chief of police on Maui.
That's got to be a 1 in multiple million.
Yeah, that's
chance.
I mean, coincidence and whatnot. But he was the head of safety on the strip, Las Vegas Strip, during the Mandalay Bay shooting.
Okay. So the Mandalay Bay shooting had a lot of, still to this day, a lot of unanswered freaking questions. And now this happens, and there's a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm just saying coincidence, but I'm just saying coincidence because there's not enough evidence. But another thing I want to add to that is, how does someone? I don't think he's from Hawaii. I don't think so. But usually, they're gonna hire the chief of police from within, like someone that moved up the ranks or something. They're gonna hire someone local. I don't think he was born and raised here. And then so the press conference comes out with the governor, the mayor of Maui, chief of police. You had I think the fire chief, and then that emergency guy, the siren guy, talking. It was a freaking disaster. 2 days later, the governor does another special press conference, and it's just him. There's no reporters. He's just talking to a camera. There's no reporters asking questions. He's just saying how much he's sad about it, and he has his wife on there. So the mayor of or the governor of Hawaii, he's not from Hawaii. He's a Caucasian guy, but the wife's local. So he brings the wife on there, and I'm watching this. This is damage control. This is what I see. Damage control. He wants to bring his wife in there, the first lady, because
her name's Melania. Isn't Melania from Hawaii?
I don't know.
She has an accent. I don't know.
Her name is Michael.
But like I'm watching this, and the wife speaking, and she's tearing up, and like I said, they're sincere, but all I saw was damage control. They're trying to. Because that press conference earlier was such a disaster.
Trying to avoid answering the hard questions.
And bringing the wife, she's local, she looks local, she is local, just to kind of make like, as for the governor is like.
Focus on the tragedy and not the.
I'm local too, even though I'm white, I'm not from Hawaii, I wasn't raised in Hawaii. I'm local too. Look at my wife, I married a local.
We just bought some property in Maui, we're going to be moving over there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Pennies on the dollar.
You think we can get some property in Maui on this?
Maybe.
Yeah, I have $1 million, starting with $1 million. Yeah.
Well, I mean, can we take the podcast funds and
it'll be like half the size of Mike's garage.
Oh yeah, Mike's new garage back there. I consider that like a second home.
That's my mom's workshop. She's a welder.
It just does. She does advanced crocheting out there, or what does she do?
You have no idea. She was a competitive
yarn.
She was a competitive crocheter, dude. You have no idea.
It looks like utility wire, but it's actually yarn.
Yeah.
Just spools and spools and spools of it.
Did she already give you the tour? How do you know all
Did
this?
she make that flag out there too? Is that crocheted?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is amazing. That is amazing. And you know what? She finally put your ass to work and got you trenching out here to put the power in.
So going back to that, Al, I don't put it past this freaking current administration, this government. There's a lot of fucking crooked ass clowns, and these guys are against the people. This is the most tyrannical we've ever been.
It's all
leadership we've ever had.
It's all for the mighty dollar. So
I tell you what,
again, you're not going to get me to go rah rah Ukraine. You can't even show me where this fucking money's going except to them, and that's it. It ends.
Yeah.
What is with all the money we've given them? How come they haven't won their quote unquote war with Russia? Because it's fucking bullshit. It's all hoax. Money laundering scheme.
Yeah, I mean, if Ukraine falls, like what happens to us?
Nothing. We shouldn't even be tied up in that anyway. Yeah. So that just points to the plausibility that money's being filtered through there, and that's it.
Yeah.
I just think it makes it more likely. He wouldn't put it past. And I'm not just saying this administration on as far as Democrats go. Democrats are a big part of it, but Republicans are freaking in bed too with these guys.
Is that a Mike's rant?
All over the place.
Are we on a Mike's rant right now? Because I have something I was going to bring up for your rant too.
It pisses me off because this freaking country was doing so good a few years ago. These guys have fucking destroyed it, completely destroyed it. And this is why I'll vote for Trump, because if there's anyone that's going to fix it quick, fast, and in a hurry, Trump's already proven that he knows how to do that. So you close the borders, you cut off other countries and say, we got
toilets for everyone.
No bullshit. We got to fix our shit before we can help the rest of the world.
Yeah, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else.
And here's another one.
Put your mask on first.
Biden finally showed up today in Maui 2 weeks later. He's
looking for property.
Because he's...
When he was vacationing in whatever,
he's got to spend
Delaware.
that China money he's got.
Again, I don't even look at him as a culprit anymore. He's just a puppet.
No, when
He's just a
he
fucking
was
senile old man.
The day it happened, 2 weeks ago, he was on vacation in Delaware. I believe it was Delaware, and then
he said no comment.
Yeah, any comment on Maui? He said no comment.
But again, if he's saying no comment and he's smiling, it could just be because he's losing his freaking mind.
Then he could have, maybe he screwed up.
He's not the shot caller.
But the advisors should have told him, "Whoa, shit, say something." No, he goes to Lake Tahoe. That's where he came from.
The advisors probably told him to say something. It's just he forgot what he was supposed to say.
So he vacationed in Lake Tahoe after that, and now he arrives in Maui. I'm kind of interested in seeing like how the public, the people from Lion are like, if.
But here's the thing. So so many people hated Trump because he was an asshole. You know what is going to take to fix this country now is an asshole in office.
Corn pop.
Someone who's going to freaking go in there and wield the sword on these motherfuckers.
I just want to see what happens to Lahaina. What happens?
Dude, we already know. Because
here's the thing. You'll never hear about what happens.
You're not going to hear it. It'll all disappear from the news media.
Yeah.
It'll be on in 10 years. It'll be like, the world's greatest smart city.
You'll hear about it from the freaking locals.
And I see daily video uploads on Maui from Tulsi Gabbard. But I don't see anything from Senator Hirano or what the other senator.
That's it. I need to try.
I don't
give me another one there, buddy.
You want to try that whiskey liqueur, whatever?
Yeah, we could try that. Mike's rant. He's fat. I mean, he's mad.
Thank you.
Are we Steve Austining this like this? Whoa, that wasn't Steve Austin. You gave Al 2 and you didn't give me any.
I know.
It smells kind of good. All right, let's taste it. Salud, motherfuckers.
Okay.
Down the hatch. Ooh, that's kind of smooth.
Creamsicle.
It's like creamsicle. Oh, so we got to tell people what we're drinking.
That's not bad, actually.
It's actually pretty good.
That is, what are we drinking?
It's something I saw at the liquor store getting. Mike wanted Bud Light, but as I stood in line, I couldn't. I didn't want people looking at me like.
So we're not sponsored. Maybe we will be. Jackson Morgan comes out and wants to sponsor us, but this is Jackson Morgan Southern Cream Whipped Orange Cream Liqueur, and it's got Tennessee whiskey in it. So there it is, folks. That's what the bottle looks like. It's pretty tasty.
There were several flavors too. There was a lemon. There was a salted caramel. There was some other different flavors. It just looked good.
Was it on sale or is it just there?
No, it was just there. I just happened to be walking down the aisle after getting my beer in the back of the store.
The Bud Light.
And I looked over and I go, oh, yeah. I didn't want to. I didn't think Bud Light made me look queer enough, so I got some liqueur as well. Anyway,
pretty tasty.
Al said he has some more to add to this story. Do you want to add it before he starts the rant or after?
I mean, go ahead. You can talk about it.
So,
I mean, it's
I tell you what, I think everyone keeps saying, "Oh, I think we're close to the new, war, whatever." I feel like we're close. I actually feel like the Trump situation brings people closer. I think if Trump wanted to set something off, he could.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think the fact that he doesn't
says
a lot more about where he stands Because he could easily go, this is bullshit. We need to correct this situation.
Why is it that he's walking around still acting like president in most cases? Didn't he come out and speak out against Hawaii? The fucking president sure as hell didn't.
He should have. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Here's the thing. Trump is not a bad guy. I mean, he knows how to freaking... Is he an asshole? Sure, absolutely. I get it. Is he abrasive? Does he talk harshly? Yeah, absolutely. Can you look at his past and find some dirt on him? You could do that with anybody. But does he know how to set up an economy and make it successful? Yes. He's proven it once already.
Yeah.
So vote the man for his fucking policy, not because you don't like the way he talks or the shit he tweets.
I think
the stupidest shit ever.
It might have been if he arrived in Maui when it happened, just like he did in East Palestine when the train derailment. I don't know if it would have gone well because Hawaii is a blue state, very blue state. So
it may not have. So, but he didn't. Anyway, he spoke out.
I'll tell you what, though, if anybody, if there truly is bank buy-up or whatever, speaking up on that on the campaign this next year may swing some people in that area.
You may,
it's legitimate.
And they're not going to.
This is what I think, because we know, I mean, generally speaking, I know what Hawaiians can be capable of. They're not going to fucking put up with this.
And the governor's not saying, to me, the governor is not saying enough to ease the people's mind. Like, oh, no, this is not going to happen.
So you're going to have a very pissed off populace of freaking Polynesians and fucking Samoans and shit like that out in Hawaii. And, all these Hawaiians are going to get pissed. And you don't want that on your hands.
The sad thing about Hawaii, though, it's not many people own, they're not too pro to a...
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, to fight back.
But they're pro beating the shit out of you.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to get in a fight with them. All right. So probably not a good idea.
What do they mostly have there? Like spears or like...
yeah.
They just pick up a rock and clock you with it.
I don't know what the history of weaponry is there. I'm assuming some type of spear.
They got coconut cannons and shit, dude.
Like for fishing and stuff like that.
Do you ever realize how hard coconuts are? They launch one of those out of their coconut cannon.
Pineapples too, man. They're fucking terrible.
No, I mean, people have guns. But it's not...
I would have to think that the people that have this old land, that they got to be somewhat armed.
I would think too that people with land over there,
it's a different culture.
Yeah,
it's a family culture, and I think most of them would probably dig in on selling it, don't you? Or do you think they've bought into the younger generation is kind of hip to the new times and like, money?
I think that,
let me sell it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Justine may be correct though. You may be flipping some people over to the red side. If they don't freaking take care of these folks.
This is going to open a lot of eyes. Like what happens, what happens here on with Lahaina. If it turns out to be this land grab, of course, they're not going to forget this. This is like freaking politicians only work for.
You don't think they'll fight?
Oh, they do whatever.
If it's a land grab,
they can do whatever. Fight as much as they can.
Right.
I can just see just protests. I mean, just. Every time,
and that's a cause worth protesting over. The government's trying to grab your fucking land.
Yeah, developers trying to develop on sacred land and all that. They'll just block the road, and
so there's
some sabotage, but it's least likely they'll be armed though.
I think the problem is because it's not, it's an island on its own. It's not going to get the coverage. It's not going to get people going. Like if it was here on land and something like that, you'd have people driving there to help protest and whatnot. I think it's not going to get the coverage that.
They went. Remember that? Was it Flat Rock or something? That Indian reservation protesting the pipeline going through their land. That started up on social media. No mainstream media was ever covering that story. I remember that. That started all up on social media.
Yep.
And that's when they started blocking shit. It's like, holy fuck, social media spread this news out to the world. And anyway.
Yeah, but social media blocked that now.
Well, yeah, but when it happened, they never thought of that. Like Facebook never thought of that until it happened, until the rest of the world found out about that. And then it's kind of too late. But you had, like the Hawaiians, they considered themselves like native Hawaiians, but native Americans. They're one of the tribes.
Sure.
Their original tribes, and they went up there. A group of the sovereign nation of Hawaii, whatever, they went up there to help with their protests. So I can see a lot of groups would go to Hawaii to help with their protests, probably even Native American.
Oh, absolutely,
tribes,
dude.
so.
I can see that. And you know what? It's probably one of the most probably the greatest reason to protest that we've had in a long freaking time. Is I mean, dude.
I think the problem will be is getting information to
This
confirm that it's
administration is
real.
not taking care of these people.
Because news won't report it.
This freaking These people are Americans, okay? So, and you're just handing money out, hand over fist to Ukraine, and you're not taking care of your own people. I mean, it's horseshit between Hawaii, leaving the Texas and all the southern states where people are just crossing willy nilly into the land. They're not taking care of the American people. This administration or the people running this fucking country, whoever that is,
was the last thing
absolutely against the American people.
Was the last thing you heard about East Palestine in Ohio?
Yeah, they probably
what happened?
They probably just sat there and said, "Okay, whoops, sorry, later."
What happened? Are they doing well?
I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're from East Palestine, please comment below.
Unless you're dead, and then you can't.
Anyway,
that was a good conspiracy theory podcast. I really liked that one. There was some funny.
The thing is, most
there
of
was
this
some information.
most of it's not theory.
There was some made up bullshit.
Give it another 2 weeks. It won't be a theory anymore. It'll just be true.
Yeah,
Al cried a little because he's from Hawaii, and his ancient lands are being stolen by the white man.
He's
There's
not
a
from
theme
Maui,
there.
dude. He's from a different island, which is like a different country.
So, I got this shirt. This
Oh, you're from
shirt-
Gold's Gym, Hawaii.
Maui, Hawaii.
It's probably like 20 years old. I don't think Gold Gym exists there, but I got this in Lahaina, the Lahaina Gold's Gym, the last time I've been to Maui. So, and I still have this shirt, but I had to wear it just.
But it was since 1965, so it's probably still around.
Yeah, and you were born way before then.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not true.
Oh,
But anyway, yes, I figure I wore this shirt for this little recording here.
Can we shoot
With
our
aloha.
heads and say things like "Remember Hawaii"?
Imua Hawaii.
so how
Maliola.
many confirmed dead are there from that fire?
Last I heard was 111.
And how many people are missing?
Yeah, but there's 1,000 or more that are not.
Yeah, that number dropped to like in the 800s, but still, that's a lot.
Yeah, what they didn't swim to the island next door.
Yeah.
How do you know?
I mean, some might have tried,
Would
but
have been Molokai. Would have been the closest island.
well, that's kind of strange too.
Yeah, a
Go
lot,
ahead and put that on
lot of
the-
things don't add up.
A lot of shit doesn't add up. But anyway, shit, we're coming up on an hour. Shall we wrap this one up?
Yeah, that was our conspiracy theory podcast. That was pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, it was our conspiracy theory podcast.
Mike's rant.
Well, the shit pisses me off. All right, and it's worth it. We need people to get pissed off.
Well, I just hope Tanya's going to be okay tonight because every time you get pissed off on the podcast,
You know where this is going. Yeah. Well, all right.
All right, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, tell all your friends, family, your dog, your friends and family's dog, and yeah.
As Good As You Gets podcast masks will be on sale on the website. Make sure you guys check it out.
When we get a website up and running.
Imua Maui. Love you.
All right.
Aloha.
Talk to you guys later.
All right.
Welcome to the Justin Podcast.
Just in time.
And with my special guest, Al. Hi, Al.
Hi. I mean, what the way am I talking to it? Test. Oh.
So this week, are we going to play the quiet game, the silent?
First one to talk loses?
Yeah.
Okay, start. We wait till Mike gets in. Well, I lost. Just start.
You suck at this game. So, I think we should talk about how cheap plane tickets are to Maui right now. Maybe we should go.
Yeah, we have to bring a tent.
I'm not trying to dig it. I know that's your homeland.
That's part of it. I actually got this in Lahaina, Maui, this shirt when they used to have a booth.
I'm assuming they're not allowing anybody to fly in right now, unless you got.
President there. No, actually, there are people going. I mean, it's not the whole island.
You think it's really a land grab?
There's.
Hey, save it for the podcast.
You think there's really lasers?
That part, no. that.
Yeah, well, when you call them laser beams from space, then yeah, it sounds outlandish and it sounds conspiratorial.
We work with.
When you call them directed energy weapons, which is a really fucking real thing if you look it up, then now it doesn't sound so conspiratorial. So the way that they put their headlines is designed so that it sounds crazy and not
thing
possible.
is, you won't see the laser beam. That's what I mean. Maybe they did use lasers, but there's not going to be any pictures of it.
Right, but I don't think my mic's on. Oh, hold on a sec. Because it always comes on. What's the sync boots up? Test. Hello?
I got a good story to talk
Hello.
about too
Okay.
this week.
No, but here's the deal. Well, you want to kick the podcast off when we talk about it?
Oh my God, I miss these voices. It's been like forever.
Huh?
I missed your voice.
5, 4.